Well, we're past the heat of the season where we see big kind of team moves, but that's usually in terms of drivers and whatnot. But wow, this was out of nowhere. Trackhouse's team president, Ty Norris, who helped build the team, who is one of the founding fathers, is that the right terminology here? But he's been the team president for ever since its beginnings, is leaving Trackhouse reportedly for Kaulig. Once again, out of nowhere, this news. This news comes from Jordan Bianchi, and here's what it says. Trackhouse Racing president Ty Norris has amicably left the team, sources tell The Athletic. Hearing Norris may be headed to Kaulig Racing in an unknown capacity. Now, where did that come from? I mean, seriously, Ty Norris, as I've said multiple times at this point, helped start Trackhouse Racing with Justin Marks, helped build that team from a single-car organization to what's going to be a three-car organization next year. They, in their short lifetime, since 2021 when they were built, they've won 7 cup races. They made a championship 4 with Ross Chastain. They won the inaugural street course in Chicago race with Shane Van Gisbergen. They've won with 2 non-American drivers, which is a pretty big deal in NASCAR with Daniel Suarez and SVG. They've had that Project 91 project with Kimi Räikkönen also driving in it. They have Connor Zilic in the younger ranks or in the lower ranks building his way up. He's 18, just won his first ever Xfinity Series race in his debut. They have done so much in such a short time span. They have built up. And yes, this year for Trackhouse has been a little bit disappointing. Chastain missed the playoffs altogether. Suarez won a race in Atlanta, but he kind of ran 17th, 18th in the points all year, so it was a little bit of a step back this year. But as I said, just a 4-year lifespan, and they already have almost 10 career cup wins. They made a championship 4 in the first year of the next gen era, their second year of existence. And they've won multiple races every year except for this year. So Trackhouse Racing has ascended with Ty Norris as the president, and now he's leaving. He's going to Kaulig, supposedly. And my question is, what's he going to do at Kaulig? It says an unknown capacity, but is he going to take over for Chris Rice? Could Chris Rice be leaving Kaulig? Chris Rice has been at Kaulig forever. Him and Matt Kaulig, the owner of the team, are close. They're friends. They're pals. Obviously business partners in a sense. I don't think Chris Rice would leave. Or what if, he's not replacing Chris Rice, but what if he's going over there to become the competition director, going to be the vice president or something like that? What if he's just going over there to be the second in command, maybe, to Chris Rice? Kaulig trying to rebuild. Kaulig itself, unlike Trackhouse, has actually been trending the opposite way. They started as an Xfinity team. They opened up cup operations 2020, 2019, 2021, somewhere in that range. And very quickly, they really just started to rapidly build, rapidly grow. They were suddenly a consistent contender in the Xfinity Series, a championship contender in the Xfinity Series. Then they move up to Cup. They win a race with A.J. Allmendinger in 2021. They win a race with A.J. Allmendinger in 2023 in the Cup Series. Once again, this is all while they're still competing for championships in the Xfinity Series with Ross Chastain, Justin Haley, A.J. Allmendinger. But the last year-ish has been a little bit rough. A.J. Allmendinger is going to make the playoffs this year, but he's winless in the Xfinity Series. Shane Van Gisbergen has been a bright spot. He's won 3 road courses. And then the third car of Josh Williams hasn't really done much. And then you go to the Cup side and it gets much, much worse. The 31 car sits 31st in the owner's standings. The 16 sits 35th in the owner's standings. As I said, it's been even worse for Cup. They almost won this past Sunday at Watkins Glen, but Shane Van Gisbergen missed the bus stop, which would have been a big bright spot for him in Cup to win a race. As I said, the last year's been extremely rough. Changes are needed in a sense, whether it's adding someone or, changing things up. And some changes are being made. Before we knew this potential move for Ty Norris, we know that they're going to have a new driver next year in the Cup Series. A.J. Allmendinger, who was demoted, is being re-promoted to the Cup Series. And the 31 car is still to be determined. Daniel Hemrick could very well be out of that seat. Ty Dillon has been tied to that seat. I don't know who it's going to actually be, but that second seat is still yet to be filled. And then you go to the Xfinity Series side. Shane Van Gisbergen's going to Trackhouse and Cup. AJ Allmendinger's being promoted to Cup. Well, Daniel Dye and Christian Eckes, the championship contender in the Truck Series. Technically him and Dye are both championship contenders, but Eckes has been killing it this year. I mean, they both had good years. Point being, Eckes and Heim have been the top two dogs. You get my point. So they are making changes driver-wise, but organization-wise, what can you do? You can fire people, and then that means you have to hire people, or you can go, I don't know if poach is the right word, but you can go hire someone else, like a Ty Norris. So Ty Norris, who has a strong track record, he was at DEI back in the early 2000s. He was with Michael Waltrip Racing. Of course, then there was that, Spingate thing. But all the teams he's been at, he's had success with, in a sense. So Ty Norris has brought success to these teams, as I specifically gave you examples with Trackhouse. So maybe this is a shot in the arm, in a sense, for Kaulig Racing, something that they needed. These past year or two has not gone well for them. They've needed something different. Maybe they just simply need new eyes. They simply need new blood to help boost them. Get the Xfinity Series team back to its championship contending ways. Get the Cup Series team back to, a little bit closer to the mid-pack, contending for some wins on super speedways and road courses. And I know they technically have this year, but you get my point. Being more consistent, stepping back up. They've taken a big step down. But then the next question is, who does Trackhouse hire? They now have a vacancy. And it's not just, a single engineer. It's not crew chief. I mean, those are significant roles, but this is a team president. This is a massive vacancy. So who are they going to fill that hole with? So just some big NASCAR news here. Trackhouse is going to need a new track president. They're going to need a new team president. Meanwhile, Kaulig is picking up Ty Norris. And what's he going to do there? I don't know. Is he replacing Chris Rice? I don't think so. Chris Rice seems pretty happy there. They've always worked well together, Kaulig and Chris Rice. So maybe he's just going over there to be the competition director. Maybe he's going over there to be the vice president of operations, second in command, something like that. But let me know what your thoughts are on this kind of shocking news that Ty Norris will be leaving Trackhouse. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. We got Bristol coming up this week. Thursday night will be the Truck Series race, speaking of Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye. Friday will be the Xfinity race. Of course, you'll see Kaulig Racing's drivers and teams in that. And then Saturday, you'll see the Cup Series. Kaulig Racing and Trackhouse both involved in that one. So thanks again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Any other updates on this story, I will let you know.